Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Arthur, and welcome back to another video. I know that's what you were expecting by clicking on the thumbnail, which hopefully you found it from my actual page and not some third-party website, because they apparently exist. Anyway, welcome to another vlog video where I'm going to do a part 2 over the Alvarado bullying policy and how things need to change. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and click right here. There should be an info card, and it'll also be in the description so you can go and watch the first part where I go over the basic synopsis of why I'm making this a little bit of a series. After the last video, which got over 250 views, which is quite a lot for a town as small as mine, and going through all like the comments and that sort of thing, and people message me on Facebook, after all of that, I finally got a response from somebody who actually matters within the school system, which is the superintendent. So what I would like to go over today is the emails that he and I shared with each other. Whenever he emailed me, I was actually rather surprised that he said that he watched the video and he would like to talk about more of how we could improve the bullying policies within the school system. And here's what the first email read from him. Good morning, Mr. Hooper. I hope all is well. An AHS student sent us a link to your vlog regarding the AISD anti-bullying policy and how it was communicated at the AHS fish camp. I sincerely appreciate your concerns and willingness to help deter bullying. You expressed a desire for the administration to hear your message. I would like to visit with you at your earliest convenience and get your perspective on how we can improve our anti-bullying efforts. Thank you again for expressing your concerns to AISD and best wishes. And then he gave me his signature pretty much, which I'm trying to deter as much as possible from giving names, which is what I did the last part. So let me go into my response to his email. I said, good afternoon. I am very pleased that my video made it to someone with capable hands. After the research I've done of what took place at the fish camp this year, I found that what was said was a very poor way of keeping students and parents excited about the upcoming school year. I'm not sure, however, if what was said was in poor taste or a misunderstanding. Having faced endless bullying myself, I was appalled to discover that a petition was created to fix what I thought to be an unnecessary problem. I took the liberty in reading through the 3 documents on the AISD webpage on bullying: Bullying Tips, Pledge to End Bullying, and the AISD Anti-Bullying Policy and Procedures. I read through each one very carefully, taking into consideration any anomalies that could occur. Examples being home life, social anxiety, depression, self-worth, peer pressure, and morality. These reasons could be as to why someone is being bullied or becomes the bully and should be taken into consideration. After reading through the changed petition, then reading through the AISD Anti-Bullying Policy and Procedures document, it seems that a reported bullying case will not be taken seriously no matter how small, as it should be. Young minds are delicate and easily manipulated by their peers and or staff. As a person who feared going to school each day, I can say that I wasn't happy for a majority of the time in the AISD system. I had my fair share of bullying and taken seriously, as well as noticing staff favoring some students over others, i.e. special treatment. I would love to speak more about this sometime soon on how to improve and fix what happened at the fish camp on August 3rd, 2017. So, to recap what happened at the fish camp on August 3rd of this year, it was the fish camp where the freshmen who are coming from the junior high schools can come and meet with their new teachers and things like that, new students, all that sort of stuff, and the staff at the high school. Well, what happened was the staff pretty much was trying to make bullying seem like it's not a big deal, and pretty much was saying, hey, we're not gonna really be taking it seriously because there's just a lot of drama that happens. And I know in my last video I was very verbal about how I felt, and it was in bad taste on my part, and I apologize for that. But what started to make me rethink about emailing the superintendent anymore is because of his response to my very detailed and long email that I sent him. Here was his response. 2 lines. Good afternoon, Mr. Hooper. Thank you for the quick reply and for taking the time to review our policy and anti-bullying documents. I'm available to meet this afternoon or at some point tomorrow morning. Once again, I appreciate your concerns and willingness to work with us on this matter. And that was it. That was his response to my very detailed on what I would like to talk about and what should be taken into consideration, and he replies with 2 lines. Now, I found that to be rather interesting. See, with the school system, again, they're very close-knit with each other, and they also try to silence anybody who tries to go against them. Now, what I'm thinking is that he was going to meet with me. I didn't meet with him. What he was going to do was probably going to meet with me and talk about how I mentioned his family in my last video and how I put them in bad taste. Now, that's the sort of thing that they're known to do at the school system. They'll try and guilt you either into removing positive evidence of how bad the school system is and things like that. And I'm actually surprised they didn't copyright claim my video, and there's no way they could have. It would have been against fair use and a false copyright claim because nothing copyrighted was in the video. And if they tried to copyright it, you know, it's my copyright, so they'd be going against me, the owner of the video and the creator of the video. So what they were probably going to do is ask me to take down the video because it shows Alvarado in a poor light. And a few years ago, Alvarado's school district system was on the news because of corporal punishment.
Corporal punishment has long been administered at the Alvarado Independent School District.
The critics are the loudest. You don't hear the supporters speak about it.
Last year alone, nearly 100 students got paddled.
There were probably 80 students who received corporal punishment several times.
At the high school, they still support paddling or spanking, that sort of thing. So I experienced this sort of thing hands-on. I got 3 spanks with a wooden paddle from the principal. And did it really change my outlook on things? No, it was just a stupid way of getting punishment. The reason I got the spankings, or the pops, which is what we called them, was because my AV teacher, my audiovisual teacher, and I were having a disagreement over me doing some extra stuff in the classroom, which would just progress, you know, what I was already doing. I was done with my work and I just wanted to start working with another program to, you know, learn more about whatever it is I was doing. The teacher didn't like that very much, and so we had a disagreement over why I couldn't just be doing other work that didn't necessarily have to do with the class. And so we went out in the hallway, we had a disagreement, and then the next day during her class I had to go to the office, and I was either going to have 3 days of in-school suspension, which is pretty much where I wouldn't be able to talk to any of my friends or anything like that, and I would be in a quiet room for the entire 8-hour period for 3 days, or I could take 3 pops. Well, I was 18 at the time, so I didn't need my parents' permission or a written permission saying, yes, I can get pops. I just said, yeah, just give it to me. And I got 3 spankings. And so getting either 3 spankings or going to in-school suspension for 3 days just because of a disagreement and me trying to progress in what I was passionate about, I think that was kind of ridiculous. But whenever I returned back to class, we looked each other dead in the eye because she knew I won, because she wanted me out of the classroom for a few days. But I took the pops, which she didn't expect me to do. And so I just looked at her like this, like, and then she just looked at me like, she was mad. But the school system still has corporal punishment. And I don't think that's a right thing to do. I think, yes, you should give students different disciplinary actions that you could go with, but not between 3 days of in-school suspension or getting spanked. That's just kind of ridiculous. But again, with the how everybody's close together, no matter what, I was gonna get in trouble for no reason. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I thought my teacher was completely wrong, not allowing me to progress in stuff I was passionate about. When my work for the class was done, I was supposed to just sit there and do nothing, and I think that was ridiculous. Also, on the AISD's anti-bullying site, you can download 3 different documents, which I said in the email. One of them being the anti-bullying pledge, which is a document you're supposed to sign with your student. So the parent signs it and then the student signs it. Well, whenever you're looking at this is what the parents are seeing. They probably will read it, maybe every 1 in 5 might read it, but to a student, this is what they see. It's all blurred, they don't care what it says, they just want to sign it and go on. No student actually reads it and they don't care. They're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna bully, even though they know they probably will. Here is one of the comments from the last video, and it says it wasn't an educator who made the post, it was a student. And it doesn't really matter. If somebody has to come out and say something about anything that went bad and had to make a petition about it and almost got enough petition signatures to get it pushed through, and then they just cancel it out of fear, I think that's ridiculous. It doesn't matter if it's an educator, if it's a student. You know, I think it's worse if it is a student because they just want to make the education system better, but then it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and then they have no choice but to go to social media to try and fix it. One comment I found very interesting was this one here by Zach McCowan. They have also implemented a new rule in fights. If you throw a punch, you are suspended for 3 days, even unprovoked. Me and my brother have both been victims of this. Pretty much what that means is if you have no choice but to use self-defense, no matter what, you will also be suspended for 3 days. And sometimes it comes to the point to where you have no choice but to fight back because the bullying has become so ridiculous and you have no choice. Because most of the time, the staff either will just blow it off and not listen like it's nothing, or students will just be like, oh, he's just messing with you, or your parents will just be like, they're just messing with you. Just ignore them, it'll work. Like in the last video, how they were just saying, oh, ignore them and have self-confidence. Well, to a student who's being bullied over and over and over, it doesn't work that way. You can't just ignore it, it doesn't go away, it's very hard. But in the anti-bullying handbook on Alvarado ISD's website, and I quote, 7. Prohibits school officials from disciplining a student who is the victim of bullying for the student's use of reasonable self-defense and response to bullying. What that means is if they do have to use self-defense because they're being bullied, they can't be held accountable for it. And from the comments, they're even saying, yeah, they're starting to suspend both because they're just saying, hey, this is a fight. And they probably won't listen to the story of either, they'll just suspend them both for 3 days instead of actually listening to the story. Because, like I said, whenever the bullying escalates to a certain point and they have no choice but to fight back, they will. It's inevitable if not taken care of. And so reading from that comment saying that they'll just suspend everybody who was in the fight, even if it was self-defense, they're going against their own handbook and procedures at the school system. And that just really isn't right. So, as you can see in this video, I've done a lot more research, and I'm trying to put into light how corrupt that Alvarado still is, and it probably always will be. And I'm surprised, I really am surprised, the part 1 video didn't get taken down, or tried to get taken down. It is actually a mystery to me why it didn't, or even tried. But I was really glad that everybody shared it. It got over 50 shares, which is incredible. Thank you everybody so much for that, and trying to get the word out there. And, you know, it led to the superintendent of the school system. That's the highest it gets. and they emailed me personally about wanting to talk. But again, like I said, they probably only want to talk about personal reasons that I brought up in the previous video and not about actual issues that are going on. But they really do need to start taking bullying more seriously. I know, again, like my time in the school system, they never did. It was always a plague that never really got fixed. But this was part 2 of the Alvarado school system going to crap, like it always is, and how corrupt it is, and how corrupt it probably always will be. Because like I said, the people in the higher-ups, like in the board, they've been there for years and years and years. And, you know, you can't really get in without trying to do pretty much sucking up to them. And otherwise it's impossible. But, you know, I forced their hand to talk to me. And that's progress. And I think that's really incredible of you guys to help out with this and everything like that. I know my voice is, you know, a lot larger than it used to be. Like, I used to be able to put out one of these videos and maybe get 3 views or something and no publicity whatsoever, but the part 1 video, like I said, over 250 views, and it got to the superintendent, and he watched it, and then he emailed me personally. And that's because he probably knows that I was right, and he wanted me to shut up about it. He was probably going to try and get me to shut up. And I know that was probably going to be the case. But thank you everybody so much for watching this. I hope you guys will share this video as well as also share part 1 too. And if you haven't seen part 1, go into the description. It'll be there for you to watch. And hopefully it'll put into light what this video was also about. But thank you again so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also hit the bell so that way you guys get notified the next time I upload a video or live stream. And as always, I will see you guys later.